What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest of cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, happy Tuesday out there. So we're recording this on Sunday, but the time has changed.
You're giving all the production secrets away, man.
Right. Right. But yeah, the time has changed, so we've lost an hour, so that's going to impact some people. They're going to not feel so like I was a little tired this morning, actually. I was like, why am I up so early? But is this it for time change? Are we done with that?
So I can't remember. So I know it was talked about. I can't remember if the one in November will be the last one or we won't do the one in November and this will be the last one. I know it was talked about in Congress, like, hey, let's just eliminate it altogether. And I thought
because it's dumb. let's get rid of this. Because when I was over in Turkey, they don't change. And I did not feel any different about it, right? Like I did 2 years of not changing. And I was like, that's not bad.
Yeah.
It's just annoying when calling home, because then I'll have to shift an hour anyway, right? Because somebody else's time is impacting me. But yeah. I don't know, man. Like I think it should be stopped, but that's not what this episode's about. So I'll give it to you.
All right, everybody. This was actually from Yahoo Finance. And it's written by Janine Mancini. And the title of it is Ryan Reynolds, Robert Downey Jr., Ashton Kutcher, and dozens others. 1Password shakes up data security while attracting a star-studded lineup of investors. So 1Password, right, is the password manager, right, based out of Toronto. And they've got the attention and the money, right, of some of the people in Hollywood and some venture capital firms, right? So between all of them, there's been $620 million invested in the company, right? So because of this, what this company is doing and what they've talked about to get these investors is going to biometric based like authentication, right? So biometric based passkeys, if you will. So there's no longer going to be the whole, writing stuff down or putting it in a password wallet that can get hacked, which we know, right? Like that's happened already in recent history. So what they're doing is they're making it biometric based, which again is something you are, right? So it doesn't have to be something you write down or whatever. Like you'll always have your fingerprint, your iris, or whatever it may be. And I don't know if that's how they're going to do it, right? Like to do iris scanning and retina scanning and stuff like that, it's expensive technology, right? So I doubt that'll be something they pursue. Being how they're trying to make this happen in 2023, right? They're like, hey, let's make this a reality sooner rather than later. So let's not just talk about it. Again, $620 million invested in it, right? So, but the 1Password chief product officer, Steve Wan, says passkeys must be able to replace all passwords, including those used to unlock 1Password, for them to be the way forward. And they actually have a list in the article of different companies that are already like on this technology. And I was kind of surprised to see some of the names on there because there's some big names on there, right? So Best Buy is on there. DocuSign, which if anybody who's like signed documents, like I know they do it a lot now when you're like closing on a house or refinancing a house, they do a lot of DocuSign. eBay was on there. Kayak, the travel company, Kayak is on there. Microsoft is on there. Nvidia is on there. PayPal, Robinhood, Shopify, Virgin Media, so like Virgin, like records, and like the plane. What's his name? Richard Branson, I think his name, the owner of
Sir Richard Branson.
Sir Richard Branson. My apologies. My apologies. The man was knighted. I forgot.
Right.
Knighted. But so yes, so like this is not like some. We came up with this crazy idea and we're the first ones or anything. Like there are a lot of people that are supporting this technology that know that this is the way forward. You know what I mean? So like I mentioned, all those companies, this is the future of security, right? So, but yeah, like I said, all these other companies are doing it. This is one of those things where, because it's something that you are, right? Biometrics is something that you are. It's not something you have, something you know. It's something that you are. It should be with you at all times, right? Unless you get a finger cut off or your eye, you know what I mean? But yeah, so
that went dark so fast.
I'm sorry. My apologies. You know what I mean? But like, but I mean that's it, again. It's something that this is the next way going forward, right? So like this is what we need to concentrate on going forward, because again, like we're proving now that the whole password thing, it doesn't matter what you tell people, they're still gonna have password 123 or 1 through 9, be their password, whatever it may be. So and like the companies think they're doing a good job because they're like, well, it has to be at least one uppercase, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, password with a capital P on it, you know what I mean? Like, what does that really do differently? That's easily figured out. And when it comes to like brute force attacks and things like that, like the database that they use, for doing these different types of attacks is so massive, and it's based off experience, right? It's what they have used in the past that has been successful, and people just going back to what they know, right? So if people are hacked, they may say, okay, I'll change it here, but then they start up a new account and they'll be like, oh, well, I wasn't hacked on this one, so let me just use password 123 again, right? That's what I think they're trying to get away from by doing this whole biometric based passkey. But it's a good step into the future, right? And the fact that they have all this money to implement it, you know what I mean, going forward, good idea. I love it, you know what I mean? So we'll see what comes of it. But 2023, here we come, right? We jump in on the password was it biometric passkey bandwagon, you know what I mean? So we're making it happen. But what's your thoughts on this, Ryan?
Yeah, we've covered this before with the passwordless future, right? When it was just really Microsoft and Google and there's somebody else or Apple. Yeah. So the big three, the big three wanted it real bad. They're like, we need this to happen. So we've talked about it, but now it's kind of like whenever there's a cause and they bring together a bunch of celebrities to sing a song. You know what I'm talking about? That's kind of what's happened.
Like We Are the World,
right? Like to push people into go in that direction. It's kind of hilarious, but like Trevor Noah, Justin Timberlake, Pharrell Williams, to Tiger Woods company, the Tiger Global Management Company is also involved. Like everyone. Everyone is jumping on this to make it happen because they want to be on the ground floor, obviously, for a huge shift because everybody uses passwords right now. So to go from that to being the passwordless or biometric standard, you're going to be on the forefront of it, right? I'm all for it because I haven't heard a reasonable argument anyway against it, of what could potentially be the issue with it, because like you said, it's something you are. So unless you lose a possession of appendage, we should be okay in that regard. I'm sure there's something we're not tracking, right? Something in the future, somebody in the basement somewhere, rubbing their hands together like, yes, I've already broken this. But I have not heard of it. So I'm all for it. I have 1 billion passwords. And I'm sick of it. I would rather everything be biometric. How that's integrated into everything, I honestly do not know how we're going to get there, especially with like government systems and things of that nature. Like, are we going to have to purchase new hardware to make this happen? That seems like that in some regard, like a biometric, which they've had fingerprint scanners on laptops and things like that. If that's the way they're going to go, we've already seen that kind of in the DoD sector as well as civilian sector. If they want to go with retina scans and things of that nature, that's going to be harder because you can't bring cameras into certain areas, right? So that would be a little bit more difficult. It could be voice, maybe. Like you got to sing a song, say a few words for it to pick up, make sure it recognizes that's who you are. I honestly,
but how sensitive is it if it does that, right? So like if you get a cold or something like that, can you not log in now? You're like, yeah, I got a cold.
You're done. You're on PTO at that point.
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't want it.
Your PTO. Like you don't get your company ain't gonna break you off nothing.
But to your point though, I think the government will be a little slower to adapt, right? Because they do have the MFA, right? So they have 2 different forms you have to use to log in, right? Something you have, something you know what I mean? Multi-factor. So they may be a little slower to adapt because it would be a really big cost to make that happen, like if you're just, even if it's just an index reader or a fingerprint scanner, you know what I mean? That's a lot that you would have to do at every workstation that they have out there right now. Like that's an investment that I don't think once that bill comes due, I think there will, even the people that love the Department of Defense will be like, whoa, wait a minute, let's step back on that, right? So,
but how much will it save you in other things, right? Like your last pass situation, things of that nature. So it's going to be a for just regular users logging into just a Amazon or something like that, it won't be. I don't think it'd be that hard of a press. When it comes to company accounts, right? Like to authenticate things of that nature, it'll be great. But how do they implement that type situation, especially when people move on, right? Like, so there had to be some kind of I don't know, like vault where you keep this information and then it can be um, removed or destroyed when an employee changes or leaves or what have you. And is that PHI? I don't think so, right? I wouldn't put it in that bucket. Like I think it would be your whatever they're using to have you authenticate would be within your possession, kind of like how LastPass was supposed to work, where you have the key and LastPass only has they don't have the master password. They only have what you unlock within their vault. So I'm sure I need to read a white paper on it to fully understand how this works. But it seems to be like they got the Avengers involved. So it seems to be an initiative that's going to take place. And you know what probably happened? It probably was a discussion at one of their like hangouts, and he got everybody to jump on board. He was like, I heard this thing. Because Ryan Reynolds is Canadian, right? Isn't he from Canada?
He is Canadian. So
That was the connection right there.
company's Toronto based. Yeah.
You brought it up, and then everybody was like, "Yeah, it's a great idea." Now they have almost $1 billion to make it happen.
So
So
that's just new. That's just new investment though that it came about. Like all that money that they got, like the valuation of the company went up. I think it was like 6.8 billion or something like that. I think it said in the article. I didn't, but yeah, 1Password's valuation soared to 6.8 billion, a Canadian record. So yeah,
right, yeah. So it's gonna happen. I just don't know how it's going to roll out. But it seems like they already have kind of a plan. If that's an aggressive plan, it'd be out there in 2023. And I would have assumed widespread adoption 24, 25, right? So you got the money, you got the spokespeople, you have the backing of the big three. So it's gonna happen. Like, so prepare for the passwordless future. It's right here. It's going to be starting pretty shortly. So it's exciting stuff. Again, I don't know enough about it. Now that I think about it more, I'm just like, how will this work within business? But I'm sure there's plenty of information out there. I'll try to do some research and come back. So with that being said, definitely continue to check us out. Monday and Tuesday are topics, Wednesday's discussion. Fridays are everything else. So movies, books, games, TV shows, all that good stuff. Hit us up on all of the websites that go by our name. And you can hit me up personally. I'm at RY Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. I'm on LinkedIn, Clubhouse, and Twitter. Stay safe, stay secure.